So welcome to Benny's Designs. This is a live stream with live peoples. It's recorded for Ustream.tv and also for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. So welcome everybody at YouTube. I've put my Neocolor 2s into a new art bag because they're kind of easier to use. And I've got them in colour order and I can just pick them out and put them back as I want them. And it makes... I did have some original ones, which are these, and you can see they didn't have the paper on them originally. Now some of these are 27 years old. They're old. They're really old. But so for colour, and that was my only flesh pink until I bought the big set of old discontinued Neo Art colours, and there is a flesh tone in there, flesh pink in there, so I'm quite pleased about that because that was the only little bit I had. I wouldn't have bought these as much as I love them if I'd have had this big set first, because I do like these original Neo Art bars. These are water soluble. If you see them on the website now, they are called Neo Art Water Oil Bars, and they are oil pastels and they are not water soluble. But originally they made these chunky ones until they changed them to Neocolor 2s. So if you see these are the equivalent to Neocolor 2s. But I like them because they're chunkier, and I did find them in a shop in London, in an art shop, and so I bought the full set in this beautiful box. But I'm not going to play with those. I'm only going to use those when I go back to my old original art. They're not for colouring in. But of course I now have a set of these, so I'm a bit cross with myself because I did spend a lot of money, but hey ho. So I've been playing in this particular book, and I wanted some grungy colours, so I've started to mix complementary colours together, and you can do this with the Neos because they are vibrant colours. So I did a bit of a video about this, and then I made a video this morning about this one. So I'm getting better, but it's still a practice. And I really want to do the butterfly, but don't think that I've got the technique right yet. So I'm going to do the elephant. And how I'm doing it is, I'm looking at the colour wheel, or I've drawn a scribbled little colour wheel myself. And on the colour wheel, I've got a violet and I've got a yellow. So that's easy because there's one called violet and there's a yellow. So I'm going to go for canary yellow. So I class that as a bright yellow and a bright purple. So I scratch a little bit of both colours separately or next to each other. Activate the yellow first where I want the yellow highlight to be, and then I take the brush with the little bit of yellow on it over the purple, which immediately dulls it because it's a complementary colour. So if you want to make a shadow of a purple, you add its complementary colour, and it works for both ways. A tiny bit of purple dulls the yellow, a tiny bit of yellow dulls the purple. Much better than using black or Payne's grey or anything else. If you want to darken and make a grey, mix two complementary colours together. So that's quite simple. That's going to give me a complementary colour. It doesn't actually show you what it does. It says about tints and tones. Is it on the other side? It says complementary colours. Bear with me. It should tell you about complementary colours. And it doesn't. But but it shows you the complementary colours. So again, another one is a bright green and a bright red. If I get all these out, am I going to be able to put them all away? I think so. So I want a bright green, and grass green is probably the best, but I don't have grass green in this set, I don't think. No, I don't think I have. So would that be bright green, or would that be kind of a, it's a bluish green? The best thing to do is to look at my little book. I've put all my Neos in here. So if I have a look, so they're my darker greens, these are my bright greens. So I have bright green, but that was from my Neo colour set. The other one is grass green, so there isn't much difference, but I do like the grass green, so I'm going to use the grass green from my original set. But you can get grass green in the Neo Colour 2s. It's just that this is my old Neo Art one, but it's grass green, and it's almost exactly the same. I wouldn't say it's definite. So then I want a bright red, an all bright red, not a pinky red. I want a bright red, and that would be cadmium red. And I've got a funny feeling that I don't have that one either. Cadmium red. I think there's a scarlet. What's that one? Yep, I've got scarlet, but I don't have a cadmium red hue. And that one is a light cadmium, but I quite like that one. It is a light cadmium. I think that one's called Scarlet. Scarlet's quite nice. Where's Scarlet? Scarlet's there. Scarlet goes pink. Light red, that doesn't go pink, so we'll have that one. But again, I'm sure there's a cadmium red and a cadmium red light hue in your Neo Colour 2s. So the next one we want is blue and orange. So the orange, I like that orange, but I do have a cadmium. I have a reddish orange, but I actually quite like that. I think flame red is a very good orange, of Vermilion. Let's have a look, what's that? And that's flame red. I think I'm going to go with flame red. Let me have a look. This is my orange. This is reddish orange. I think I'm going to go with that one. And because I had it in this colour, I didn't buy it in the Neos. I like this yellow. What's that one called? That's canary yellow. I like lemon yellow. Let me have a look at my yellows and see, because you get a better feel of what you've got here. So that's cadmium and that's canary. Now that's lemon yellow there, that's lemon yellow, and that one's canary yellow, and that one is number 10. I think I like that one actually. I'm going to use that one. And put that one back. It's a bit paler. We want the blue next, so we want just a bog standard blue. So they're turquoisey blues, they're greens, so they're purpley blues, and they're purpley blues and they're cold blues. So I think the French ultramarine is a purpley blue. I actually think we want just blue 260, and that would be mine. I think 260. There's a sapphire blue, There's an ultramarine, but I don't think I want to be that blue. 260s blue, I'm going to use that one. So that's given me 6 complementary colours. Sorry about that, but sometimes you have to have a look at the colours because they are going to change, and I'm going to show you how that changes. So we've got 6 complementary colours. So we've got a red and a blue. We've got a blue, and an orange and a purple and a yellow. So we've got 6 complementary colours. But because we've got this gorgeous set, we've got purpley blues and we've got pale blues. So what we could do is just do it another way. We could take a purple blue, so we could take a French ultramarine, and this is a reddish orange, so we could go with an orange, which is slightly different. That's, I think fast orange is the same, and that's just orange. We could go with a paler purple, so that one is that's violet. This is lilac. We'll go with lilac. And then we want a warm golden yellow. And then we want green. So we've got a middle green. We've got the bright green. The bright green might be good, so that's we'll have the bright green and the other green, and then the red. I think we'll have, and this is what you need to do to play. It's a bit of a faff, but you need to have a look at your colours and get used to your colours. Just know what they're going to do. If you make colour squares like this, you don't have to make a book, but you can see you get 10 shades from every stick. You can't get that with the stick. You have to scribble it, because sometimes you want to be down here, so you want the tiniest little bit of colour. So that's another thing that would be quite good to do. So that is normally a ready red. So now we want the scarlet red is still a ready red. I think we'll have either got a ruby red, or we have what's that one? I think a carmine might be quite nice. Or what's that one? Yeah, that's carmine. I think carmine would be quite nice. It's a pinky red. So all of a sudden we now have 12 combinations instead of 6. But what we can do with that 12, and I'm just going to shut that up. What we can do with that, we can look at this now. So we've got so that's 12. So there are 12 colours. But what we can now do is look at the colour wheel and say, well, actually, if we had, and you look at your colours and you think, well, I haven't got a turquoise in there. So a turquoise is a blue-green, and a blue-green, there is a turquoise, but I've moved mine about a bit. I've got a bluish green. So I've got a bluish green, and opposite a bluish green is a red orange. So I now need to have a look at my little book, because it's better for me. So I don't want a pinky red, I want a red orange, and vermilion is probably the best one. So it's not an orange, and it's not a pinky red, and it's not a red red, it's an orange red. So I tried to get them in order as I put them in my little book. So I want vermilion, and if you look at vermilion, it's halfway between an orange and a red. so we know we're on the right track. So, oops, that's the blue. I don't know where we're going to put that one. I think we'll put it there. So the next one to look at is a red purple. So a reddy purple. I don't know what a reddy purple is. A reddy purple. We have do the blue violet. The blue violet is French ultramarine. Oh, I think I'll go even purplier. So the blue violet wants a yellow orange, and a yellow orange is possibly fast orange. Now the fast orange is near this one here. Oh, I've got it up. No, the golden cadmium. So the golden cadmium is very, very similar. It's a cadmium yellow hue. So this is a malachite green. That isn't malachite green, is it? No, that's green. I think malachite green is the blue version. So we've done that one. There is a paler blue. It's a colder blue. You can play with lots of different colours. That's a pinky red, but I think I've got one of those, purplish. And I'm going to put that very light lemon yellow on there, I think. This one is Naples yellow. So I've got 2 and 4, but I need another red now. So that's, so we've got 2, 4, 6 there, we've got 2, 4, 6 there, and we've got 2, 4, 6 there. But I do like this malachite colour. So do I take away one of these? Because malachite is it's an in-betweeny. But I quite like the idea of that. It goes with the orange red, really, the blue green. Is it a blue green or is it a green blue? Just bear with me, because the next one, if we turn it across, is a blue. So that's got to go with that one. I think I'm going to put it over there. I'm going to take one of these away. So I've got an ordinary blue and I've got an ultramarine. I think I'm going to take the ultramarine away. I'm pretty sure. So that's given me enough colours to play. I think 3, 6, 12, which is the same colours I had here. I had 12 colours here. I haven't got a Prussian blue. I do have a cold yellow. Cobalt violet is quite nice. I didn't have cobalt violet. So I'm going to put those 2 out. I'm going to put those 2 out. I think I need another green and another red. I do have scarlet. I have carmine and I've got scarlet. I don't have scarlet. And got my greens. I think I'm going to have a bluish green. That's a greenish blue and that's a bluish green. So I'm going to play with those colours. It does take quite a long time to mess about, but you will what you use here and get organized then makes it so much easier later on, and you don't have to mess about too much. So let's have a look. So it's going to be a bit easier to use the smaller colours because you've got a finer point on those. So I've got my Nia colours, I've got my two Derwent brushes, a number 1 and a number 2, but I think I'll probably use a number 1 because it's a smaller one and I've got more control. I need my trusty baby wipe, which could do to be a bit wetter, but it doesn't matter. I'll just dunk it in my water pot. It's a good idea to keep your baby wipe in a little plastic top because it's going to get wetter and wetter and wetter, and if you touch it next to your colour book it will crinkle your book. So it's a good idea to maybe keep it on there, and you do have to keep cleaning it. So if you're not sure about what you're doing, the best thing to do is to have a play. So I'll zoom in and we'll have a bit of a play. So we've got so many colours here now. I think this one and this one are very similar. Yeah, I might get rid of that one because they are very similar. But I can touch that one with a different blue. And we can see the differences. I'll just do it with one. So it's an orangey yellow and blues. I've done that one twice, I think. Oopsie. So we do the yellow first. It's too yellow, is that? So it's going green. It's quite nice, but it's given us a green. So remember to clean the brush. And we'll try the yellow with the purpley blues. Now this one's better, this one works. So what we've got is, we don't have green, we have a dull purple and a dull yellow. And if you keep going, you'll end up with a grey. But we don't want to keep going, we want to keep this colour mix going. So we'll clean the brush. I'll do this one next. But you still get some nice colours. So you can go over there and get some nice colours. And you end up with a green grey. Same with this one. It goes green, but you've got some gorgeous greens. That's a much nicer green than anything you could pick out of the pot, really. And we'll try the last one. So the only ones I do like some of those. So we'll do the purple, and we'll do the cool yellow. Yellow first. It's too pinky, is that one? We want purple. So we've got yellow in, dulls the purple, and then over once dulls the yellow. Perfect. If you keep going, you'll end up with a grey. So we know that those two work well together. And then we could do, oops, we could do that red and that red. We could do these two. It's that red and that green, sorry, that red and this green. Because I haven't played with the vermilion. So that's vermilion, it dulls that green, and then that dulls that red. So you get some really grungy colours going. So I'll zoom in and, sorry, oopsie, come on. So I'll just shut that for a second and put that on there. Oopsie. You can see what I'm doing. Move this out of the way for the moment. And now I'm going to start on that corner there. So I think I'm going to have these two colours. It's not particularly orangey, but I might do this one actually because that's more of an orange colour. So I want a little bit of red, sorry, a bit of orange scratched on the top there, and a little bit of purple. See how focused this is. Let's see if I can make that a little bit clearer. Read it on a slightly better one. Oh, that's quite better. And we have a, let's try this blue actually. This is just the blue. So I'm going to put a little bit of blue just where the cross hatching and hatching is. Not much at all. And then a clean brush. So we're activating the bright yellow first. Activate all the yellow, and then we'll touch the blue, and that should dull that blue down. Now there's quite a lot on there, so just going to wipe that off. So go back to the yellow, then just take the blue up a bit. And it's given us a grungy colour. So we'll do this, oops, we'll do this one next here. So clean the brush again. And we'll have purple and bright yellow. So, no we won't, we're going to have a little bit of red. And green. So activate the red and then touch the green, and then just one sweep over the red will dull it, and it's done. That's it. If you mix that anymore, you'll lose that and end up with a beautiful grey, but you won't keep the vibrant. It's a grungy colour, but I call it it's quite vibrant. So we can try a yellow and a purple next. So we'll have yellow there, and it's just a little bit of a scratch. So you can even use these little fat chunky, because you're using the edge to get a little scratch. Activate the yellow. As soon as it touches the purple, it dulls it, and then when you go over the yellow, the purple knocks that yellow down to a grungy yellow. and the light's just catching it, but that's quite a grungy yellowy purple colour. So we can have grass green, and I know this works well because they've done it before. And we could have a bark alert. So again, we've got red. Manipulate that red first. Touch the green, and the green dulls down the red, but you still got some hint of what colours were there. But they're grungy colours. They're not bright, vibrant colours. And I think that works well with these metallic, these mechanical kind of things. So we've got a yellow. We'll put a bright yellow there, and then I'm going to put that to purple here. Now this is again still experimental, so some of the colours may not work as well, but hopefully that yellow's dulling that purple, and then that purple will dull that. But you can't keep mixing it, otherwise it'll completely disappear. So I'm going to try this malachite with yellow ochre. So again, yellow ochre, activate the malachite, and we've got a green, but it's quite a grungy green, so I quite like that. And we've got a pinky red. Apologies for the bark alerts. We've got a pinky red, and if we look at our colour wheel, the pinky red was supposed to be a bluish, a yellow green. So we want a pale yellow green. So we'll go for the lightest green. So just manipulate that red, and it's better to manipulate all one colour first, the lightest colour first, and then that's going to dull down the green instantly, and then just touch up to dull the red, and you end up with a grungy red and a grungy green, but they're different to these two. And we can have, but some of them will work better than others. So we'll have this pink. So we'll activate that first, dull that purple, and then dull the yellow. And that's how you just keep going. You just keep picking out different yellows to go with different blues. The yellow ochre can go with a blue, or it can go with a green. Try to think about where things are. So I think we'll have a bit of a pinkiness going over here. So we'll do this one. I think we'll use that one. And again, some might work better than others. So we do a yellow ochre first, and then we dull down that purple, which dulls down the yellow ochre. and you end up with two grungy colours. Sorry, I was off camera there. So we end up with two grungy colours. And if you think you want a little bit more, just touch the edge and go over the pink very lightly, very quickly, and that will grunge it up. So just let me have a look at this, see what's going on. So we've got a pinky red. Oh, we've got a pinky red. We have an orangey red now. And the idea is to leave some white if you can, and then what happens is you get several different colours, and there's always a little bit of colour left on the brush, and what I do with that is I just pick out a screw, and that's going to give you a grey, and this is how you know you're making greys. So if you continued with these complementary colours, you would get a grey. You would get greys, and I quite like that idea as well, of mixing your own greys and then doing a colour scale, because they've got slightly different colours in each grey. We've got orange and blue, so we can put a little bit of orange there. And we'll have the cobalt blue first with that one. These are a little bit fiddly, these spaces, so activate that bright orange, touch the purple, and that just dulls it down but still keeps a little bit of something. I think I'm going to get a different orange out. I think I want another orange out. I've got flame red. I've even got an apricot, actually. That might even be better, but you can, as I say, you can mix and match. There's hundreds of different combinations you can do, especially if you've got a lot of these neo colours. You need to do it like this for mixing. It'd be more difficult to do it with traditional watercolours. You need a crayon or some kind of water, really. And so I'm going to have that bright yellow. And you don't need very much at all, just a scratch. So you've got to make sure you've got a clean brush. Do all the yellow first. Activate that purple, which has now gone dull. And then over the top to dull down that yellow. And then if you need to bring that purple down, bring it down. And then you've got some colour on here, so I'd probably go in there somewhere. Pick out some odd little tiny bits rather than waste the colour. And we've got green here. I'm going to use a pinky red as well. Let's see if we can use a pinky red this time. So activate the red. manipulates that bit there somewhere. Some colours I think I probably like better than others. I have a purple blue, which I think will go with anything. Purple blue. Just want a little scratch and then activate that orange. Try not to touch that blue just yet, and then you can dull that down. Now what you can do is, you've got quite a lot of colour on there, is to pick something else that's about. Maybe a shadow or something under here, because you end up with some gorgeous greys. Clean the brush, just touch that purple again, and it'll just dull it down a smidgen. And just keep going like that. So let's have a look. And use different greens as well to mix them up. Got hundreds of different combinations here. So this is a pinky red now, and I'm using a bright green. And that's just nicely dulled that down. And then I just find these odd, obscure little spaces that are not yet coloured in. And these are a little bit brighter, but I've changed colours, so they probably would be. They would be. I think I'm going to use purple on that one, because it's a yellow orange, so I can get away with a bit of purple. Got to make sure your brush is clean, otherwise you will get more grunge than you bargained for. I think that wants a touch of blue in it. I think it's just that bit too bright. So just keep plodding along. still quite a lot of colour on there, so keep picking obscure things that might just need a bit of colour. Might be better to stay with the colours that we'd already got. But again, this is an experiment. Playing with colour, playing with greys, playing with complementary colours, finding out what they do, how we can manipulate them. So if I just pan out a bit, you can see it's coming along, and they're bright, but they're grungy. But it's quite fast to do, and because it's just a soft water brush, it doesn't do a lot of damage to the page. And I'm playing with, you know, a decent set of Neos. But there's only, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. There's 24, 25 colours there, but I'm not using them all. haven't used them all. And maybe some of these yellows are the wrong yellows. Maybe I would keep with the other ones. I'm pretty sure I prefer the first time I was playing, when I had a limited palette. These colours are a lot nicer and a lot blended, gelled together than these colours. And that's because I use just a limited palette. The same with these. These colours look nicer because there isn't a vivid bright yellow in there. So I think I shall have to finish this one off as it is, but I don't think I like the colours as much. It's just going to be like a child's bright crayony one. Hi Suzanne, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Hi Mara. Anybody else that's popping in? Yeah, try to stick to a limited palette, because I don't think this works. This is more like children just being bright, colouring in, whereas because it was a limited palette, I'm pretty sure this one works a lot better. Just having the same red and green, I think it works a bit better. And this one works better as well. The colours are a lot nicer, I think, on here. They've got that kind of grungy tone to them. I think these look a bit kind of, I don't know, I'm using every colour in the book kind of thing. So I'm just going to have to carry on because I've obviously started in this style. But it's fairly fast. It's fairly fast. You just have to keep with one colour first. And then when you've got all your yellow activated, the yellow dulls down the blue, and then you've got the blue. So you've got to be a bit quick and careful. One swoop then takes that blue. If you carried on, you'd end up with all the same colour. And that is a dull grey-green. So you get greys when you've finished. But I'm sure it's going to grow on me. But it's quite good just to scratch a little bit of colour on. And then manipulate it. But I mean, you can choose whichever colours you want, but you want the complementaries because they're the ones that are going to activate the most. and grunge up to be kind of grungy, nice and grungy. And then, as I say, I just go around and pick something else off that I've missed. So kind of everything's been coloured in. It depends. It depends. I mean, I don't know what everybody else thinks. That's with all these colours. The other one I had 12, so that I like this one better. I like these colours seem to be more. They just seem to go, even though I mixed them up a bit. Because I had an orangey yellow, I had a yellow, and I had a yellow ochre, but I put that with 3 different blues. And that seems to work quite well. I put the bright yellow with the pink, but the purple, but I also put it with the dark purple blue, the French ultramarine, and so that I can tell that that's the bright yellow and that's the French ultramarine. And then I put French ultramarine with a brighter colour, so I kind of like that. And this one I did today. I like these colours. I'm not kind of keen on those, but I like these colours better. Whereas when you look at the elephant, it looks kind of, even though it look completely different, but at the moment it just looks like a child's just picked up big bright colours and put them next to each other. It doesn't have that same kind of, I don't know, just it doesn't seem the same with more colours. And a limited palette is always good because you learn from them. I mean, I'm going to have to colour his ears in the same because I've started this now, but if I did it again I would just use my limited palette, I think, which bears me what I've always said: you don't need 126 Neocolor tools, and I've just bought them all. But it spoils it. Too many colours, you spoils it, I think. Because it's so much more interesting, especially with the Neos, because they are, they are so water soluble friendly. It's such a shame to not get all these colours in between, and these are not in the colours. What if I dull the yellow? Yes, I did dull the yellow. It is dulled because it's this one. It's Naples yellow. Oh, it isn't Naples yellow, that one. It's this one. It's lemon yellow. It's the palest yellow. That's the palest yellow, and that's the yellow ochre, and that's the orangey one, and you can tell which one's a which. But they still don't have that nice, there's too many colours going on, I think, in that one. But if I dulled that orange, I might as well just use that one, which is what I meant. You've got one colour, use it in different ways. So I think that's probably what I will do next time, is just use the colours that I've got. Which was the chunky red. But at least I've learnt something, and I always thought you didn't need all the colours, and I've proved it. The more colours you have, the more you ruin things. If you're using them at the same time. I do like that red and that green. They're all kind of bright. The pink is bright. It's because it's that particular yellow. I've used the same bright yellow there, just on his own for his eye, but dulled it down with a purple. I didn't use the purple this time. Oh, I did use a purple. I still think there's too much going on colour wise. So we've got this pinky red and this bluey green. Let's see what that is. And then I might as well just find something else that wants a bit of colour in it. So it's taken me about an hour, but I was messing about with the colours to start with. So you need to think about that. But it is a fairly quick way to work. So it's different. Yeah, I don't like it as much as I liked working with that, but I think that's because it's the colours. But it's practicing with the colours. That's what it is. It's practicing which green to put with which red to put, purple to put with which yellow, and which blue to put with which orange. Because I kind of do like that. I like these two together as well. They just seem to have a really nice, coherent mix going on. But it's okay, it's fine. It's a colour book. It's going to be a big bright coloured elephant. But it's not really what I want for the butterfly, so I'm going to have to practice a bit more. So I'm going to stop the video there. So that's working in Imagimorphia, and I pulled out 24 reds, yellows, oranges, greens, the 3 primaries and the 3 secondary colours, and I had 4 of each. Thanks for watching.